In this short video, we want to take a look at how to best succeed in statistics. I have a couple of quick suggestions here. First, attend every class on time. Second, we want to work problems. Homework problems are assigned, and homework problems are also the basis for most quiz and test questions. In fact, if you see things like homework assigned number 3, 5, 7, and 9, answers in the back of the book for the odd numbers, you should reasonably expect to see something like 4, 6, or 8 as quiz or test problems. If you're having a little difficulty with the problem, well, working additional problems is always good. So if number 3 and number 5 are a little bothersome to you, try number 4 as well. We do need to remember that ask and ye shall receive, knock and the door will be opened unto thee. If you've got questions, please ask them. I'm available before class, during class, after class. Asking questions is a good way to make sure you keep on track. The fourth suggestion here is to keep up. Now, this course does move briskly, as does every statistics class, right? We've got 4 semester hour course, and we're going to go through an entire book. So, of course, we're going to move briskly. There will be graded activities virtually every class period. What you want to do, make up a study schedule and stick to it. So if you know you're going to study, let's say, maybe not immediately after class because you need to give your brain a rest from statistics, but maybe each evening at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, good, have it down there. Or maybe you're a morning person, you want to study from 7 until 8 and again at noon until 1. But whatever that is, make that schedule up and stick to it. As noted previously in the federal definition of a credit hour and what that requires, you need 4 to 6 hours of outside study for each day in class. This is inverted from the way high school is, right? Where the class is most of the time and you get maybe a half hour of homework for an hour in class. No, this is the other way around in college. It's 2 to 3 hours of work outside of class for every hour and inside of class. So you take that 4 credit hour piece, well, that's 8 hours and we got 2 classes a week, so 16 hours a week is reasonable. Now, you may shy away from that and you go, well, I want a different instructor, but, well, I hate to say it, but statistics is a 4-hour class for all dozen instructors at the college, and all of them have about the same requirement because it's based on that federal definition. Now, the great news about this is there's just so many resources available to you. From the publisher, there's a couple of optional things, the Student Study Guide or the MyStatLab, neither of which are required for this class. I'm available on campus when the campus is open, often Darlington Hall, but sometimes Edgewood, Aberdeen, and Falston. I've got an email there that you see, like all of them. It's first initial, last name. It's an older email, so it's truncated at 8 characters. The E is missing off the end of my name. At hartford.edu. I have a virtual telephone exchange, which ends up just putting something on a audio file and making it an email. So the telephone really isn't that great of a method. Now, what is a great method is the Learning Center. It's on the first floor of the library there. Come in, turn left, go to the back, turn right, go to the end of that hallway, room 115. It's got tutoring services, both remotely, in person. They've got computer stuff in the way of NetTutor that's also available. They've got statistics-specific assistants that are available, and I usually talk to them and often send them things like the answer keys to my quizzes and the answer keys to the Excel projects so that they know exactly what I'm asking for. And you go in, tell them what course you're in, who your instructor is, they'll be ready for you. And when the campus is open, the walk-ins are okay. A little bit more about the Learning Center. Everything is free, first off. That's the important idea. And there's also, as well as the so-called group assistance, you can get individual assistance. What you do is go in, make an appointment with the student support specialist. They're in the back right-hand corner of the room. And you can get one-on-one up to 15 hours, again, all free. And there are actually some DSS exceptions to that that make that 15-hour limit even go away. The remote learning has, to some extent, ended the sharing of learning assistance, but as the college returns to a more pre-pandemic mode, what you'll see is going into the Learning Center, you might have to, quote, share a learning assistant. So there might be two of you at a 6-foot table and the learning assistant working with two people at the same time. One thing that is encouraged totally outside of the Learning Center, though, is forming your own self-study groups with all the students that are in the same course. Might not even be the same section, but the same course. And you can meet on Teams. You can meet in person if you wish. You can do it in the rooms that they have available there with the Learning Center. You can even get a specific assistant at prearranged time. So if there's 3 or 4 of you say, well, we're all in this statistics mess together, you can go to the Learning Center and say, look, we're meeting every fill in the blank, you know, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. we're going to meet, and the Learning Center will help set up a room, and they'll assign a specific learning assistant there to help you at that prearranged time. Historically, I have run statistics-only extra sessions, especially at the beginning of the semester, to make sure everybody's up to the same speed that we're already working. And if you want some of that assistance, just let me know and we'll be happy to add those things. Now, my friends over at the biology side of the STEM division came up with some ideas and said, sure, you can use them. So here's a couple that they suggested. This is really true for things that they have, like anatomy and physiology, which is a brutal course, is spending the required time, but you need to pace yourself. So a half an hour a day, 5 days a week is a whole lot better than 5 times 30 or 150 minutes one night before the test. That just doesn't work. So as previously mentioned, you establish your study schedule and you stick to that schedule. And while you're sticking to that schedule, you have a study space that's conducive to your learning style. So maybe that's the kitchen table, or maybe it's a spot at the community college, but it's probably not in front of the TV, at least for statistics. It's probably not concurrent with you babysitting your younger sibling, but a good study space that's good for your style. You want to focus on learning the material. And you're going to do that in this class mostly by working more problems. But you want to do your learning in an active sort of role. And by active, what we're talking about is things like questioning myself or others in your study group. Some people like to recopy their notes after class. Recordings are allowable. I let people record the class if they wish to. Drawing maps, well, conceptually that's okay. Probably better for this course is the idea of drawing the diagrams and the flow charts. And in fact, our textbook has a number of flow charts in it that help you determine which method for different kinds of problems you should be using. One thing I had down there is writing practice test questions. And in fact, you'll discover at times during the semester, there's a question or two that'll show up on a quiz or an actual exam that says, you write the question and of course your answer. And the ones that I like show up on future tests as well. And it's a fully scored question. So that last hint is good for 2 kinds of reasons. Now, when we actually take the test, here's some things to think about. There's 4 of them in the semester, 1 for each unit. You want to have the right amount of sleep and food and water before the class starts. You want to slow it down, read carefully. We've discovered from studies done by institutional research here at the college that actually your reading score, pre-testing scores, have more to do with your statistics success than your math pre-test scores. So a lot of this course is being able to read the question correctly. And so you want to slow down, read it carefully. You may need to practice some relaxations because admittedly, people tend to have test anxiety in general and math test anxiety specifically. You want to take a look at your test and use your time wisely, however it works for you. All of these ways might work. Some people like to go and take the big point questions first, applying the concepts, 10-point question, that type of thing. Some people say, no, give me the quick and easy ones. I'll look up some stuff on a table, or I'll do the multiple choice questions first because they're fast and easy. Doesn't matter to me. You're going to get the entire exam presented at the same time, whether it's on Blackboard or in class, and you can flip through it and just do whichever questions you want to. Although, please make sure you answer every question because there's partial credit given for everything. And so even just making a notation that somewhere on your paper that you attempted that thing, maybe even just copying down the key data points out of the written description, that will at least get you a little bit of partial credit. Remember, we're going to 1,000 points for this semester, so every point that you can get is worth something. A point on the first class is worth the same as a single point on the final exam. So you might as well get it early and take the pressure off the final exam. So how we want to succeed? Well, we do want to pay attention. That would be reasonable. Take a look at the Blackboard site where the lectures, supplemental material are posted. The quizzes, some parts of the exam can sometimes be there. We definitely want to stay current and up to date. You want to be working on something 6 days a week. Okay, I'll grant you a Sabbath, 1 day a week where you can take your brain off statistics, but really a little bite every single day is going to be a whole lot better for you. You can check in on Blackboard and see the schedule. You can check in on Blackboard and see how many points you've got at any one time because the grade book's in there. My Excel sheet is the official one, but the grade book is usually pretty close to that. The course does have 1,000 possible points, as I mentioned, but stay tuned and pay attention for places where you might earn a bonus point or an extra credit question or something in some Excel project that you can fill out a little bit more and get a few other points, or maybe points right during class, or a hidden place on a quiz that says for a bonus do this. So that's how we want to succeed in statistics. Success in this course is good for your future employment. Employers want to have people that can look at data and analyze it and crunch it a little bit. This course is going to help you succeed in your future employment.